dear learners, in the past 4 lessons, we have learnt about cost of capital. First, we learnt about calculation of cost of debentures, that is bonds. Then we learnt about calculation of cost of preference share capital. Subsequently, we learnt about cost of equity share capital and cost of retained earning. Then in the immediate previous lesson, we learnt about practicing certain questions on cost of equity share calculation and weighted average cost calculation. I hope you remember all the formula and all the concepts. Today also we have a practice session on cost of capital. We will be practicing cost of debt as well as cost of preference. Before beginning the numerical, let me give you a recap of the formula which we usually use for calculating these costs. We have redeemable debentures. I hope you remember what is a redeemable debenture. A redeemable bond or a redeemable debenture is the one in which year on year company will keep on paying interest to the bondholders, and at the end of the maturity period company will repay the principal amount. That means if we assume that maturity duration of a bond is 3 years, so these are the year on timeline. Every year bondholder will get interest as cash flow 1, cash flow 2 and cash flow 3, and maturity value is also paid to him at the end of maturity period. So that is the maturity value. Now precisely cost of debt we calculated as the such discount rate at which issue proceeds of these debentures become equal to the present value of all these cash outflow arising from the company's side, because company will be paying all these money to the bondholders, and in lieu of that company gets at 0 time the net issue proceeds. So such discount rate at which present value of all these cash outflows become equal to the net issue proceeds of the debenture or bond is called as cost of redeemable debenture. However, in short, we always use a formula approach, cost of debt pre-tax. So what is the formula? It is simply I plus MV minus P divided by N, then M plus P divided by 2. So that formula we use to calculate cost of debt pre-tax in case of redeemable debentures, and the same cost can be converted into after tax cost. So KD after tax or post tax, KD post tax is equals to KD pre-tax multiplied with 1 minus TC, multiplied with 1 minus TC. So these are the formula we use for calculating cost of debt, pre-tax cost and post-tax cost. So let us practice numerical on that and then we will proceed further. So as you can see, we have a numerical with us. 12% rupees 200 bond issued by incurring a flotation cost of 2.5%. These are redeemable at 4% premium after 4 years. If tax rate is 25%, then calculate cost of debt. So in this case, what parameters are? 12% is the coupon rate. And always remember, coupon rate or interest rate is the function of par value or face value. It means company will be paying interest every year 12% of the par value. 12% of the par value, that means rupees 24. How long these interest will be paid to the bondholders? till the complete duration of the bond, which is 4 years. What is the issue price? Issued by incurring a flotation cost of 2.5%. If you remember, whenever question is silent about the issue price, we assume that bonds or debentures are being issued at par. So it will be issued at par, that is 200. Flotation cost, which is 2.5%. Flotation cost is also the function of par value. So 2.5% of the 200 makes it rupees 5. So company has incurred a flotation cost of 5 rupees. That means net issue proceeds symbolized as P is equal to issue price minus flotation cost. So that makes it 200 minus 5. So how much company will get by issuing these bonds or debentures is 195. How much will be the maturity value? Maturity value is these are redeemable at 4% premium. So 4% applied on par value. That means on each bond of 200, company will pay back 200 plus rupees 8, that is 208. So maturity value is 208. And what is my tax rate? 25% will be written as 0.25. So you can easily plug in these values into the formula and calculate cost of debt, pre-tax as well as post-tax. So if we work it out, now what we have, KD pre-tax, that is I plus M minus P divided by N, M plus P divided by 2. So this formula you remember. So that is I plus MV, M or MV are the same. Few people use it M or few people use it MV. So we are using MV, maturity value 208 minus P, which is the net issue proceeds, divided by 4. So how much you get it? We get it 24 plus gap between these two is 13. 13 divided by 4. So 208 minus 195, we get 13 divided by 4, 3.25. Then 20, so this will be 208, not 4. Remember. So 208 plus 195 divided by 2. So we get it 201.50. So we are going to get 27.25 divided by 201.50. So 27.25 divided by 201.50, that makes it 0.1352. That is 13.52% is the cost of debt. So in our case, cost of debt pre-tax is 13.52. You can convert that into after tax cost. So you can see very well all the parameters are there in front of you, and we have calculated pre-tax cost of debt. It means without considering tax benefits associated with the bonds, because interest paid on the bonds or debenture is tax deductible expense. So without considering those tax shield or tax benefit, how much is the cost to the company for using these debentures? 13.52%. However, interest on debt qualifies for tax relief or tax shield, therefore KD after tax. So if I put it over there, KD post tax in this case will be 13.52 multiplied by 1 minus 0.25. So that makes it 13.52 multiplied by 0.75. %10.14%. So that is cost of debt after tax. That is cost of debt after tax. So you can very well see this is the way we solve the numerical on cost of debt before tax, cost of debt after tax. I hope it is pretty clear to you. Once you have a glance of this numerical, we can further proceed for practicing another numerical. But before that, I will give you a home assignment. If this bond word is replaced by preference share, I repeat it again, if this bond word is replaced by preference share, then what will be the after tax cost of those preference shares? If I simply ask you MCQ, will it be equal to pre-tax KD or post-tax KD? What is your answer? Keep on thinking. However, my hint is that answer will be this. We can proceed further now. There is one more numerical. 16% rupees 1000. So why I have taken blended numericals? Previously par value was 200, now par value is 1000. So that you pay the attention. Different percentages are to be calculated on face value or par value. So you can have different practices. So in this case, when you practice the numerical, so let us read it carefully. 1000 debenture issued at 3% premium. This time issue price is given to be redeemed at the end of 4 years from issue date. The flotation cost is 5%. If tax rate is 30%, what is the after tax cost of debt? So I will be simply writing down the parameters, calculation you will have to do. So in this case, what we have? Interest is the function of par value. So par value is 1000, 16% of that means bondholder will get 160 interest every year or company will pay 160 as interest. How long this interest will be paid? Again 4 years. So by chance it is 4 years. In numerical it may be 5 years, 10 years. So you have to just read the numerical carefully. Now what is the issue price? These are being issued at a premium of 3%. That means 3% of 1000, that is 30 is your premium. So company will get 1030. However, company has to spend flotation cost. So what is the flotation cost in this case? 5%. So 5% of 1000 is 50. Now we can calculate how much will be the net issue proceeds for the company. So it will be equal to 1030 minus 50, that makes it 980. That makes it 980. So company will be getting rupees 980 in net from each debenture they issue. Then what is my maturity value? If you read the numerical does not say anything about how it will be redeemed. It will be redeemed after 4 years, but at what price? So again my submission is that if question is silent about the maturity value, at least par value will be paid back. So this is the par value or face value. 1000. And now TC which we have is 30%, 0.30. So you can very well calculate pre-tax cost of debt and post-tax cost of debt. So these are the parameters. So once you have the parameters and the formula, you can easily calculate cost of debt. So that is what we have listed the parameters. Now we can proceed further for practicing another numerical. Now this numerical is on preference share. %, rupees 100 preference share issued by incurring a flotation cost of 5%. These are redeemable at 14% premium after 3 years. If tax rate is 25%, then calculate after tax cost of debt. So that word is by mistake over there. So you can replace this word with preference. Now, always remember the formula which we apply for calculating cost of preference share is always the post tax. And why post tax? Reason being, dividend is paid out of the after tax profits. Therefore, the formula which we will be applying will straightway give me answer for the after tax cost of preference. So, we have D plus MV minus P divided by N, MV plus P divided by 2. So, this will give me after tax cost of preference. So, let us gather the parameters. How much will be the D? D means dividend paid every year by the company. So, it will be 12% of par value, that is rupees 12. How long it will be paid? So, N we have 3, because maturity duration in this case is 3 years. So, these are redeemable after 3 years at a premium of 14%. Issue price is 100 because nothing is mentioned. Flotation cost is 5%, so rupees 5. So, we get P 100 minus 95 minus 5, we get it 95. 100 minus 5, we get it 95. So, 95 is the net issue proceeds. Then maturity value. These are redeemable at 14% premium. That means 114 is the maturity value. And lastly, tax rate. So, right now tax rate has no meaning, we will use it somewhere else for twisting the numerical. So, we can calculate after tax cost of this particular debt. So, KP post tax, that is cost of preference after tax, is equal to D is 12, maturity value is 114, P is equal to 95, N is 3, 114 plus 95 divided by 2. So, what we get? So, we get the final answer. So, we have 114 minus 95 divided by 3, 6.33 is the gap between that. So, what we are going to get now? 12 plus 6.33 divided by 114 plus 95 divided by 2, 104.5. So, 18.33 divided by 104.5. So, 18.33 divided by 104.5. So, 17.54%. So, we get an answer. After tax cost of preference is 17.54%. So, generally this is asked to you in the examination. However, examiner might ask you what is the pre-tax cost of these preference shares. We have calculated post-tax cost. If you see, by applying this formula, we can get after-tax cost of preference. The same after-tax cost can be converted into before-tax cost. So, just remember what was your after-tax cost? 17.54%. We can convert that into before-tax as well. So, how do we do that? So, our KP post-tax is 17.54%. Same KP can be converted into pre-tax, that is cost of preference can be converted into pre-tax. So, it will be KP post-tax divided by 1 minus TC. So, what we have? 17.54 divided by 1 minus tax rate, which is 25%. So what we get? 23.39%. 23.39%. So 17.5% will remain post-tax, and if they ask you for the pre-tax, divide by 1 minus TC, you get the answer for pre-tax cost of preference share capital. So this is the way sometimes examiner might ask you calculate pre-tax cost of preference share capital. We proceed further. So 20% rupees 1000 debenture issued at 3% premium, flotation cost is 5%. If tax rate for company is 30%, then calculate after tax cost of debt. Now, if you pay the attention, in this debenture, maturity period is not given, maturity provision is not given. And I hope you remember, whenever maturity provision or maturity period is not given, we assume that debenture is perpetual or non-redeemable. And how do we calculate cost of non-redeemable debenture? KD pre-tax is equal to I upon P, and if you multiply with 100, you will get answer in percentage, else you will get in fraction, convert that into percentage. So in this case 20% is the interest and par value is how much? 1000. So we simply get it. I will be paid by company year on year 200. Then we need to work out P. P is equal to issue price minus flotation cost. So issued at 3% premium. That means these will be issued at 1030. And how much is the flotation cost? 5%. So that is 50. So issue price is 1030. Flotation cost is 50. So P becomes equal to 1030 minus 50, making it 980. So if you plug in the values into this formula, I is 200 divided by 980 times 100. So 200 divided by 980 times 100, so 20.41. So that is before tax or pre-tax cost. KD after tax, KD post tax is equal to KD pre-tax 20.41 multiplied with 1 minus tax rate. So we get it 14.29%. 14.29%. So that is the way we calculate cost of debt in case of perpetual debt. I hope you understand it very well. Now, we have covered redeemable debenture, redeemable preference shares, non-redeemable debenture, non-redeemable preference shares. Lastly, I will cover one small concept, that is, how about deep discount bond? Or zero coupon bond, ZCB. These are the bonds which are issued at a heavy discount to the par value and redeemed at par on maturity, and there is no provision for interest payment year on year. It means there are only two incidences. Today company will receive P, and on the maturity date company will pay back MV. So what fundamental is to be applied for calculating cost of such debentures? So in that case, if you see, we have two incidences, P and MV. So if we take an example, face value of a debenture is 1000. That is ZCB, zero coupon bond or deep discount bond. These are issued at 30% discount. So discount on issue is 30% and redeemed at par after 5 years. It means what will be the P for company? And let us say question is silent about flotation cost also. So whenever any question, flotation cost is not given, take it as 0. So let us assume that question is silent. So in this case, P, which is issue price minus flotation cost. So issue price is 700, flotation cost not given, so P becomes 700. How much will be paid back by the company after 5 years? Because N I have kept 5 years. So maturity value is 1000 and N is 5. So question is simple, rupees 1000 par value deep discount bond issued at 30% discount, redeemable at par after 5 years. So 1000 is the par value, issued at discount, 30% discount, redeemable after 5 years at par, ZCB. Now it means 1000 is the future value. If you calculate from the investor angle, and what is the present value investor is sacrificing? 700 over a period of 5 years. So if you remember, future value of lump sum amount, FV is equal to PV multiplied with 1 plus R raised to the power of N. So this is the future value of lump sum amount formula. It means investor is investing 700 today and he will get back 1000 after 5 years. That is sure. And same is applicable for the company. 1 plus R is not known to us. R is not known to us. By solving this equation, we can work out missing R. So it will be 1000 divided by 700 equals to 1 plus R raised to the power of 5. So we get it. 1 plus R raised to the power of 5 is equal to 1000 upon 700. So that is 1.42857. So it means 1 plus R raised to the power of 5 is equal to 1.42857. So again simplify the equation. So 1 plus R is equal to fifth root of 1.42857. So we can take it fifth root of 1.42857. So we get it 1.0739 minus 1. So we get it 0.0739 or 7.39%. 7.39%. Because answer for 1 plus R equals to fifth root of this value, we get it 1.0739. 1 goes on other side, so that makes it 0.0739. So we get the answer 7.39%. So always remember, this fundamental can be used to calculate cost of deep discount bond or ZCB, which is zero coupon bond. So that is the way we work out different types of costs in case of debentures. So in this session, I hope we have learnt a lot, we have practiced a lot. Now in the next session, we will be working out on different concept. Till then, keep on practicing these concepts. I hope you are learning it well. Wish you good luck. Thank you.